Do you need a vehicle lift? I've been working on cars and trucks since my teens. In the 60s, quick lube stations did not exist. Instead, gas stations had full-service bays for lubrication, tire, and tune-up work. My after-school and summer jobs, first at an old-school Hancock station, then a busy Chevron station, taught me how to safely operate and use a center post hoist with adjustable arms. At the time, many garages and muffler shops used cable-operated four-post drive-on lifts. For working on my own vehicles at home, I laid on the ground or a cement garage floor. Removing my 1938 Ford pickup's torque tube rear axle, a straight-cut gear floor shift transmission, and a worn-out clutch, got done with basic hand tools, a vintage scissor jack, and blocks of wood that wobbled on the jack. Given the lack of safety, I'm lucky to have all my limbs. The luxury of a creeper, floor jacks, and jack stands on a level concrete shop floor came a few years later with my first professional job as a mechanic. That first mechanic's job was great. I serviced a fleet of light and medium-duty trucks at the engineering department of a busy general hospital. 19 years old and spry from high school sports and service station jobs, I was job ready. The shop's smooth cement floor provided easy rolling on a creeper. With heavy-duty floor jacks and quality safety stands, I was set. The fleet included 22 surplus trucks and metro vans, plus several pieces of construction equipment. Each well-aged vehicle needed attention. My work on a creeper ranged from routine preventive maintenance to transmission, clutch, axle, suspension, brakes, steering, and chassis chores. I was excited to go to work each day. The tasks were challenging with lots of variety. For valve adjustments and tune-up work, I leaned over classic truck fenders. An overhead loading crane handled engine pulls. Everything else had me up and down from the creeper. At the time, I ignored the shortcomings of lying on my back and working from the floor. Sharing shop space with electricians, carpenters, painters, and plumbers, it was exciting to be part of a team that kept the hospital going. Following those years of maintaining a community hospital's vehicle fleet, my professional mechanic and instructor roles were at shops with vehicle lifts. When I worked for a GMC truck Pontiac dealership in the 80s, each work bay had its own lift. In addition to plenty of warranty powertrain work, I ran the shop's four-wheel alignment rack, an advanced hunter system that featured electronic beams. Techs never used a creeper. Fast forward to my decades of magazine journalism and authoring Bentley Publishers books and manuals. For the first edition of my Jeep Owner's Bible and several truck books, I photographed and spun wrenches without the benefit of a vehicle lift. The book sold well, which encouraged me to build a 2,400 square foot shop at Yarrington, Nevada. My new shop had a 9,000-pound capacity forward two-post hoist that paid for itself when I wrote and photographed my Jeep CJ Rebuilders series and the later editions of the Jeep Owner's Bible. What a difference that lift made. Since downsizing from my 2,400 square foot shop in 2009, I have performed all my automotive work without a lift. Quality floor jacks, safety stands, and heavy-duty ramps have filled the void. Many of us produce professional caliber work from the floor with a vehicle perched on safety jack stands. To be blunt, it's not easy to do a rear main seal, clutch, or transmission changeout from a creeper. For safety's sake, my equipment is always rated way beyond the vehicle's weight. When working on my accessorized 4-ton Ram 3500 4x4, I use floor jacks rated 4 tons apiece. I use 12-ton rated jack stands at each axle. My two Gaither more-safe 20-ton air-over hydraulic jacks can easily lift a weighted axle off the floor. The shop's 8-inch riser ramps are OTC's 20-ton rated set, capable of getting a medium-duty cement truck's front end off the floor. The vehicle can be parked inside the garage on the ramps. The actual height of the ramp platform is 8 inches above the ground. This provides significant lift, as the lift is from the base of the tires. The room underneath the vehicle is now open for chores like draining this transmission or greasing the front axle. This open workspace is inviting, neater, cleaner, and readily permits use of the creeper that can roll smoothly on your garage floor or in the work bay. I use a Whiteside Professional creeper. It has a section that raises to a more comfortable seated position. My Traxion 3700 over-the-engine topside creeper is helpful for diesel engine work with a lifted Ram truck resting on flat ground. If your workspace is too small or the shop ceiling prevents the use of a lift, the equipment I have used will provide the safety margin and versatility needed to get the job done. For the last 16 years, this has worked for me. All the while, I have weighed what it's like to work at this level to the years when I had access to a lift. Frankly, working from the floor always came up short. Today, there is a market for prosumer-level vehicle lifts. At the SEMA show each year, more than a dozen manufacturers display vehicle lifts well suited for independent repair shops or committed DIY techs. Many of these units are affordable and provide a quick return on investment. Automotive and four-wheel drive specialty shops can enhance their work with a lift. Industry automotive hourly flat rate labor assumes that shops use a lift. Today, dealerships and many independent shops have added ADAS equipment to their overhead. This is driving up hourly labor rates, and in our area, independent shops and dealerships are typically charging $180 to $200 per hour. By 2029, ADAS will be a mandatory requirement for all new vehicles. From my experience, any shop or DIY enthusiast doing a lot of chassis, steering, suspension, axle, or transmission work can benefit from a vehicle lift. A lift with built-in turntable pockets and rear slip plates would be worthwhile for alignment work. Shops working on late-model vehicles with ADAS often need a four-wheel alignment rack. Some ADAS equipment will only work with an alignment lift or rack. Currently, the channel's vehicles are all pre-ADAS. They range in age from 20 to 26 years. Mileage per vehicle ranges from 120,000 to nearly 200,000 miles. My career commitment to preventive maintenance, established as a truck fleet mechanic in the late 60s and early 70s, has dramatically increased the reliability and extended the service life of my family's vehicles. A service lift can lead to better quality work and, importantly, a safer work environment. Rolling around on a creeper while doing powertrain or axle work can be downright hazardous. Stories of transmissions, transfer cases, or whole vehicles falling from jacks or stands are legend. Use of floor jacks, ramps, and stands require our focused attention and constant safety considerations. While this equipment allows us to do mechanical work in a cramped, low-ceiling garage, a lift with adequate ceiling height is certainly a better, safer solution. I've done automotive and motorcycle service work for 6 decades now, and rolling around on a creeper is no longer appealing. With my low-ceiling garage, I considered a low to medium-rise lift. Unfortunately, these lifts still require rolling around on a creeper to perform work. A 72-inch high lift would make my service work a lot easier and safer. For the shop that does a limited number of wheel alignments or suspension lifts, the cost-effective alternative to a more expensive alignment lift is a conventional 4-post lift with a rolling jack. This works for me. In a pending video at the channel, I will demonstrate how 4-wheel alignment can be done on a conventional lifts platforms aided by a rolling jack or a pair of rolling jacks. You'll find several videos at the channel that demonstrate accurate wheel alignment that I performed on the shop floor. These involve beam axle Jeep 4x4s and the Ram truck. IFS car and light truck wheel alignment from a garage floor or on a conventional 4-post lift is also possible. There are a variety of prosumer or do-it-yourself lifts available in the market. I considered a lower medium-rise scissors lift for my 8-foot garage ceiling or 10.5-foot carport. Like a 2-post lift, platform scissor lifts do not provide a means for wheel alignment work. On some scissor lifts, cross braces get in the way. Others have a power supply floor obstruction. With a low or medium-rise lift, powertrain or chassis work still requires a creeper. In my view, lower-rise lifts are primarily for wheel service or brake work. Low-rise hoists, like the Max Jacks, mimic a 2-post lift without the height range. This allows space for undercarriage work in a low-ceiling garage. Like the popular Quick Jack from Benpack, a vehicle can be quickly raised from the floor for wheel service. For service work, you're still using a creeper or low rolling stool. Of these two Benpack products, the Max Jacks provides a bit more lift if your garage ceiling has enough room. This is at least past a floor jack and jack stands. Low-profile lifts work for many DIY users and shops that dedicate a lift to wheel service like tire and brake work. Like the Max Jacks, a taller two-post lift has some advantages. You can quickly drive the vehicle into position. On most vehicles, adjusting the arms, spacers, and pads is not difficult, but does require close attention and an understanding of safe lift points. Years ago, I was grateful to have a two-post lift, although I have several concerns with the design. For one thing, vehicles like the Ram, with its Cummins diesel engine and massive winch bumper, are front-heavy. For my asymmetrical forward 9,000-pound capacity lift, the two columns were stable and rigid. Each column set on a 14-inch thick concrete section reinforced with rebar. This was part of the original concrete pour for the shop's floor. Despite this, the truck rocked ominously on the hoist until I placed a pair of tripod stands at each of the Ram's beam axles. At that point, the chassis was stable, but the 4 tripod stands limited the floor space and maneuvering room beneath the vehicle. Additionally, the two-post lift's side arms tended to get in the way. There were times when I stood straight up beneath an unseen overhead lift arm and slammed my head into the bottom of the arm. Overall, the best vehicle lifts for me have been 4-post designs with runway platforms. With the width of the platform set correctly, driving onto the ramps is simple. Once parked and wheel chocked, the vehicle can be lifted into position. As an option, if wheel service is a requirement, a rolling jack or 2 rolling jacks can lift the vehicle's wheels and tires off the 4-post lift's platforms. A 4-post lift with rolling jacks is optimal for my needs. Popular now are the taller parking lifts that can double as a service lift. This enables parking 2 vehicles, the second one beneath the vehicle that's on the runways. Shops that store cars like this feature. It conserves valuable floor space. Some of these lifts can even be rolled around the shop with the use of cradles at each post. Again, for routine service, powertrain and axle repairs, chassis work, and even a 4-wheel alignment job, a 4-post hoist with a rolling jack is valuable. In my view, if you have access to the space, a vehicle lift makes working on cars and trucks practical, safer, and far more appealing. At the current hourly flat rate for sublet shop and dealership labor, the savings from doing your own work will quickly pay for a vehicle lift. Depending on the lift package, as little as 30 hours of $200 per hour sublet labor will pay for the lift. Savings from DIY work will also pay for your tools and other equipment. The how-to videos at the channel share steps on performing your own vehicle maintenance, troubleshooting, diagnostics, and repairs. Consistent preventive maintenance dramatically reduces the risk of being stranded on the road or a remote trail. With the right kind of preventive maintenance and sensible driving habits, your vehicles can be reliable and last well beyond 200,000 miles before they require major work.